Hi, this is Majin. Here's some comic reviews for you. We have Flash, Superman, Justice League, Fantastic, Uncanny Invaders. Okay, let's start off with the Flash number 30. Okay, first of all, I gotta say this. Flash is probably one of the most damaged superheroes known to mankind. He's the one who started Flashpoint, which caused the New 52, and he's kind of going nuts a little bit here, too. Now, personally, my favorite part of this was how there's an accident, and he kind of is stopped by this one guy. But yet, when he gets enough information, suddenly he's able to pass him. So I was like, oh, really? Now, I understand the concept. You know, he probably ran up to the guy, and he's like, what's going on? But the panel here makes it look like he's actually holding the flashback. So that's why I was making a comment towards that. Then we get a lot of dog talk, and then the main point that I really want to make is what happens at the end. And I don't want to spoil anything for people, but they've set it up, and I know there's a swerve somewhere like that, but they've really set this thing up where people who are expecting Wally to come back are going to be kind of pissed. So we'll see how that actually plays out. Was I pleased with this issue? Absolutely not. I mean, do I think it's a decent read? There's probably some decent parts to it, but I'll be honest with you. I read so much bad shit today that when I went through this book, it just was like every potentially negative part of the story that was there just, was like police sirens. And I just couldn't take it after a while. And I just stopped caring about this character. But, I mean, I bought it mostly just because I wanted to see what was going to happen with the annual, with the Blue Flash. Superman 30. This is an awesome cover. Now, I like to poke fun at this cover because if you remember, Superman's costume is not supposed to be terrible. It's not supposed to sustain damage. Look at the costume. That looks like a bunch of rips and tears to me. Now, personally, though, don't get me wrong. Artistically, this is a fantastic piece of artwork. So, I'm just poking fun at it. Now, what we have here is this. Superman's doing his thing. There's a problem going on in Smallville. Everybody goes into a coma, so Superman goes to figure out what's going on. Superman meets an interesting character, as well, I'll word it like that, and he basically gets the foretelling of doom is coming. And at the very end, we get basically the beginning of Doomsday. Now, or Doomed, I should say. Overall, was this a good read? It's okay. But this is what the important thing is. It basically said this is the beginning of your story. It gave you a little clue as to what's going on right from the very beginning. It put Superman into a desperate situation, and then it ended with a reason to make you want to read the next issue. So for that, I applaud them on that. They did what they needed to do. Personally, though, once I found out what Doomed is going to be like, where you're going to have Superman let me back that up. In a sense, what you're going to be having is Doomsday in a Superman costume. That's when I just kind of table flipped it, because I'm like, what's the point? That's just basically watching Doomsday rampage without Superman and superheroes trying to stop him. Who cares? What we want to see is Superman fighting Doomsday for 3 issues, no holds barred, somebody gets killed. That's what we want. Which probably now may not quite happen the way we would like it, but we'll see. Okay, hot off the heels of Forever Evil, even though we don't even know how Forever Evil ends, because the damn book is late, and this book is out, and it doesn't, God, I just wanted to you don't understand the pain. The pain I go through reading this crap sometimes. Okay. This book does not address in any way, shape, or form fear itself. In fact, this book, if you remember through the previews, they kind of were insinuating that a team of superheroes were going to leave the United States to go to Canada to become Justice League Canada. Now, there's a difference between a group of superheroes consciously moving to Canada, hot off the heels of fear itself, versus, and this is the key thing right here, a couple of superheroes at Comic-Con signing autographs and then getting wrapped up into some nonsense. And that's what's going on here. You have Stargirl and Animal Man, for some reason, signing autographs at whatever. I'm just calling it Comic-Con because that's what it kind of looks like. I mean, where else are you going to have superheroes signing something, right? And some guy by the name of Adam comes up to them and is like, hey, I have a problem, and the only people that can handle it, and I've been spending a lot of time in line, so it'd be really nice if you can like hear me out. And then the security guy's like, excuse me, you gotta go. But he's like, you don't understand, I got some proof. And suddenly this huge gigantic line disappears, so this way they can talk. You don't even get the courtesy of going an hour later, or something like that. It's like you're missing a courtesy panel. Anyways, he shows him the proof that, hey, yeah, there's something going on. And basically he's got a student that he's having an affair with, or he likes a little too much, and she's missing. And they happen to be in Canada at the time. So Animal Man and Stargirl go to investigate. Stargirl realizes, oh shoot, man, this might be a little too over my head, because after all, I'm teamed up with Animal Man, and what can he do other than like growl and sniff things and maybe fly? So she does the right thing, and she pushes the panic button, and she gets a couple people to help out, which is namely Green Arrow and Martian Manhunter. Now, the other thing that I thought was kind of comical is on the outside, you can see here they're getting attacked by these aliens, and you can see these aliens, they're not talking no English. They're not from around here. But the minute you go inside the spaceship, it's kind of like everybody's speaking English, and I'm like, really? Really? Universal Translator from Star Trek, maybe they're at the Star Trek con, and they figured out, hey, maybe we need that Universal Translator or something. Or maybe the Martian Manhunter linked them all mentally so they can all understand each other. I don't know. Then we get this part here with this unknown character fighting somebody that's right out of the pages of Animal Man. And I'm just like, oh, this is so painful sometimes. So freaking painful. It hurts sometimes. It really does hurt. Then you have Supergirl, who's not even using her freaking red ring. And I'm like, really? Please. Please. Which then, of course, makes me think that doesn't take place before Fear itself, because she doesn't have the ring. But yet it's supposed to take place after Fear itself. And after Fear itself, she's supposed to have a ring. Don't people go to meetings? Okay. Original Sin 0. Who's the Watcher? This issue really made me sad, because for one reason here. We have a new character in, Sam Alexander's Nova, right? He is this new guy on the block. He has no clue what's going on, especially, where he fits in the galaxy, his role or anything like that. And he thinks he lost his father's dead, and, he's having a tough time, so to speak. And then he meets the Watcher, and then they form this weird bond. And in a way, the bond is kind of like this mentor-fatherly figure in a way. And, it's not like the Watcher's really sitting there talking to him all the time, but it's just this really interesting relationship. And the fact is, they're going to kill the Watcher, which means they're going to destroy this relationship. And that's what I was like, man, it's like Marvel had something really special between these two characters, and they're going to get rid of it. But of course, that can lead to other things. But at the same time, I'm like, man, that's like killing Damian, where you had this awesome character, you kill him off, and now you have this interesting dynamic. I mean, between the Watcher and Sam, and it's like, man, that's done. And the fact, like, how, like, Sam fights this, what's his name, Torako or something like that. Tomazoma. Yeah, Tomazoma. And he's like, hey man, I beat him, and he's like looking up, looking for the Watcher. So this way, he's seeing if the Watcher watched him, type thing. So I'm like, it's a nice little interesting relationship, almost like he's looking at the Watcher as, like I said, a fatherly figure. Well, this issue here pretty much is just, okay, for everybody who doesn't know who the Watcher is and who needs to get invested into this storyline, this is who the Watcher is. And he even does a nice thing to him, like, he's like, he asked Cap, like, why does the Watcher do this? And he's like, Cap goes, I don't know, nobody's asked. So he goes up to the Watcher and he's like, hey, I brought you a present. I don't think that anybody's ever done that before. And he's like, and the Watcher actually takes him into his lair and he shows him around, and then you get a good understanding of who the Watcher is, and you get an origin at the same time, and a prelude of something evil, dangerous is coming. So I thought this issue was really strong. Now, personally, I would have thought that this would have almost been the book of the week, but that Elektra was really good. So that's the only reason why this didn't get it. Fantastic Four number 3. This one wasn't too bad at all. What we have going on here is this. You have Johnny Storm coming to terms with the fact that he doesn't have his powers anymore. And unless there's some miracle that Reed comes up with, he probably won't get his powers back. But for all you Johnny Storm fans out there, rest assured, he's going to get his fire back at some point in time. I mean, previews show that he has fire back sooner, but guaranteed he's going to have that flame back before the Fantastic Four movie comes out. That being said, lots of damage being done in the city off of that attack. And we also get a nice little thing about, whatchamacallit, the daughter and her uncle, Dr. Doom. So I thought this story here for me interests me a lot, because this is the one person that really could change Dr. Doom. And we all know that he's not going to turn into a character of good, but it's an interesting dynamic and how that's going to work and how they're going to play off of each other. I really wish that they can get like a top writer and do like short miniseries every now and then just to show what they're doing, because I think that part could be a potentially very strong series. Other than that, I thought this book was just, it's a decent read. It's in that middle zone where they're giving you everything you need to know before you get to the end. And for the most part, I think it was entertaining. Robinson did, I thought, a really good job overall with this. Now, that being said, Robinson here did a horrible, shitty job on this issue right here. Oh my god, I'm just like, okay, let's put it this way. I don't care who you are, okay? Unless your name is Submariner, right? Or Aquaman. You're on a friggin' beach and you're tied up. Why are you sending a tidal wave of monsters to come to fight the enemy? You're gonna drown. You know what I mean? There's no way Submariner can untie everybody quickly enough. And it doesn't look like everybody's going to be able to break free before drowning. So that part had me going, oh. But that being said, that was an impressive picture. I'm not going to lie. That was really good. Now that being said, we get the little standoff between the invaders and the Kree, and you have Bucky throwing a temper tantrum, which didn't seem like Bucky. He goes a little nuts and he gets killed. And they're like, you killed Bucky, damn you, how dare you do such a thing like that. And then he's just lying there. And that's it. And Submariner comes in, he's like, I'm sorry guys. This is the result of my arrogance, and if I was a better person, we wouldn't be in this situation. I'm really sorry. And the Kree are going, ha 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 ha. And then they go, well, since Bucky's dead, we are going to join again as the invaders. And they all pose heroically. And they start fighting. And then the next thing you know, Bucky's not dead. And, granted, I knew Bucky wasn't dead to begin with. But that whole scene, the way it played out, it just played out so fake. And I'm just like, oh, how can you not see that he's not dead? So that's the odd thing. You had a good book and a bad book. This book makes me want to read the second issue because we get the new Frightful Four. This book, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping. I'm really hoping he's able to pull something out. But this is not strong. Not strong at all. I was hoping by now things would have started to turn around. Very disappointed. Very, very disappointed. Uncanny Avengers. Number 19. Okay, what we have here is this. See, keep in mind, I'm pausing here because this is a good story. But there's some parts of the story that just kind of make me roll my eyes. What we have is, you have the one of the Apocalypse twins. She's going to the X-Men who are in charge of everything, and now they're all older. They're like, Havoc is going to ruin everything if we don't stop him before it's too late. And then and Magneto's like, my daughter's sacrifices will not be in vain. We have accomplished so much. And I'm just like, oh my god. Anyways, while that's going on, you have Havoc and his group of people. He meets with Thor, and Thor's like, hey bud, sorry I haven't been around, to watch your daughter grow up and whatnot, but I've been gathering some peeps that can help us out. And Havoc's like, dude, you got Doom, and you got Kang, you got Strife, you got everybody that want us dead, and they're all helping you, and they're all like, well, you don't understand, Havoc, like, this timeline kind of jacked everything up for us because we can't rule the world any longer. So we want to help you. Winning smile. And, and on some crazy level, that makes sense. Well, Havok, of course, is like, they're like, in order for you to save everybody, we can't send your body back. We have to send your spirit back or something to that effect. And we need your original team to go back and correct your errors along the way. You have to work as a unit instead of this disorganized group of yahoos. Well, Havok is like, well, what about my daughter? I can't do anything without my daughter. How dare you even suggest that? And I'm like, oh my god, the life of billions of people fixing the timeline of your goddamn daughter. What the hell, man? Throw your daughter out the window and just get going. You know what I mean? It's like, you can't always have it both ways, so just get your ass working. Well, so they go to this argument, and Kang does the right, sensible thing, and he just takes the daughter away from him. He's like, well, don't worry, you'll get her back once it's all done. And then once that happens, then the action starts happening. We learn the fate of Wolverine and Sunfire. Now, this is the part that I really, really started to get my eyes rolling a bit, was you had the battle between a bunch of X-Men with the group of villains from the future. And, man, those villains, man, they were not acting villainy because they just got, well, I'm sorry, they acted very villainy because they got taken out really pretty damn quick, especially Doctor Doom. I mean, when have you ever seen the Blob take out Doctor Doom? So that I was just like, oh, please. But overall, despite the fact I'm still being very critical and negative at times, you have to understand something. I read a bunch of freaking bad comic books. This is a bad comic book week. I'm very pissed off. And I'm taking it out on Uncanny Avengers 19. Because technically, Uncanny Avengers 19 is a pretty damn solid book. And when I see, Havok going, well, I don't want to save the billions of people because of my fake daughter that technically doesn't exist, shouldn't exist because of my screw up, I just kind of lose my, I flip some tables. But anyways, that is the comic book reviews for the week. I might do another one. I got some leftovers from last week that were actually pretty damn solid. So I think I want to balance that out. So anyways, like, share, Facebook, Crunchyroll. Let me know what you guys thought were some good books this week. What did you guys think of Original Sin Zero? I'll have more reviews like I mentioned later. Until next time.